Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Math grade 5. We are in chapter 10 lessons. Today we want to learn how to multiply fractions. How to multiply fractions. See with me this song.
We get it. You don't really want your kids watching videos, but it can have certain.
Three of us found treasure on a scuba trip, so we pulled our treasure up onto the ship. Since we were so blessed by this rarity, we decided to give half of it to charity. We took the rest and split it up 3 ways. 1/3 of the rest was still a huge payday. 1/3 for me, 1/2 for charity. So what's my share? Let's multiply and see.
When we need to multiply two fractions, this is our reaction. Multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators.
My friend and I were digging for dinosaur bones. We decided to search in a rectangular zone. We split it equally between the two of us. The first day I found a bone from a brontosaurus. I found a few more by the end of day 2, when 3/8 of my half had been searched through. Of my half, I had explored 3/8. How much of the entire space did I excavate?
When we need to multiply two fractions, this is our reaction. Multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators. When we need to multiply two fractions, this is our reaction. Multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators.
Now see with me this video to know what is the rule to do the multiplication between the fractions.
Have fun and learn math at the same time with Adapted Mind, a fun.
You've probably noticed that we've been talking an awful lot about fractions around here lately. Well, now I'm going to tell you something you can do with fractions that's really easy. No, not juggling fractions. Although that is pretty easy for me. I'm talking about something even easier than that. I'm talking about multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions is super easy. In fact, it's easier than adding fractions, and that's why we're going to learn it first. The reason it's easier is because fractions are really just division problems, and multiplication and division get along much better than addition and division. Now, since fractions are division, that means if I have the problem 1/4 times 2/3, it's the same as the problem 1 divided by 4 times 2 divided by 3. That means I have both multiplication and division in the same problem. And because they get along so well, that means I can just rearrange our problem to look like this. Now it looks like two multiplication problems that are being divided, and it looks just like a fraction. In fact, if we go ahead and do the multiplications, 1 times 2 equals 2, and 4 times 3 equals 12, then we do have a fraction, and it's the answer to our problem. So what does all this mean? Well, it means that to multiply fractions, all you have to do is multiply the top numbers, and then multiply the bottom numbers, and ta-da, there's your answer. As always, let's see an example or two. Let's try this problem. 2/3 times 4/5. Now we could rewrite the problem like we just saw, but that's not necessary as long as we remember the procedure. First, we know our answer is going to be a fraction, so let's go ahead and write a new fraction line for it. Next, we multiply the top numbers. 2 times 4 equals 8, so 8's the top number of our answer. And last, we multiply the bottom numbers. 3 times 5 equals 15, so 15 is the bottom number of our answer. There we have it. 2 over 3 times 4 over 5 equals 8 over 15. See how easy that was? And fun, too. Even funner than video games. Okay, time for another example. Let's try 6 over 11 times 7 over 8. From our multiplication table, we know that 6 times 7 equals 42. So 42 is the top number of our answer. And on the bottom, we have 11 times 8, which is 88. So 6 over 11 times 7 over 8 equals 42 over 88. Oh, now some of you might see that this answer could be simplified, but we'll save simplifying fractions for another video. All right, let's see one last example. Here it is. 1/2 times 4 over 3 times 3 over 5. Wait a minute. This has 3 fractions multiplied together, and the middle one looks like an improper fraction because its top number is bigger than its bottom number. Does our procedure work for this problem too? Yep. All we have to do is multiply all the top numbers together and then multiply all the bottom numbers together, and we'll have our answer. And this will work no matter how many fractions we have to multiply. So on the top, we have 1 times 4 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. And on the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 5 is 30. That means our answer is 12 over 30. So there you have it. Multiplying fractions is easy because fractions are just another way of writing division problems. But remember, there's another way to think about fractions. We can also use fractions to represent parts of things, like half a pizza, for instance. But does it make sense to multiply half a pizza by another half? Actually, it does. If you're thinking of fractions as parts of something, then multiplying fractions is really like taking part of another part. For example, here's half a pizza. Now you can see that if I take 1/2 of that half, then I get 1/4 of a pizza. And if we do the multiplication, 1/2 times 1/2, you see that we do get 1/4. So that's why you can think of multiplying fractions as taking part of another part. In fact, sometimes, especially in word or story problems, you'll see multiplying fractions written using the word of instead of times. They may ask, what's 3/4 of 2/3? And now you know they just mean, what's 3/4 times 2/3? So, whether you think of fractions as parts of something or as division problems, the procedure for doing the multiplication is exactly the same. Let's do a quick review of what we've learned. Multiplying fractions is even easier than adding fractions. It's easy because order of operations says that we can do the multiplication before the division. The procedure for multiplying fractions is to multiply the top numbers to get the answer's top number and multiply the bottom numbers to get the answer's bottom number. If you think of fractions as parts of something, then multiplying a fraction by another fraction is the same as taking a part of a part. And sometimes, especially in word problems, you might see the word of instead of the word times. Even though multiplying fractions is so easy, it's a good idea to practice. So be sure to do the exercises, and I'll see you next time. Learn.
So today we want to learn how to multiply fractions. As you see here, we have 2 fractions, 1 over 5 multiplied by 2 over 3. We want to learn today how to do this problem. And here we have 5 over 6 multiplied by 1 over 7. How to do this problem, how to solve this problem. Now see with me this video.
سيعطينا رمضان هذا العام.
Welcome to 5th grade math with Mr. J. In this video, you are going to learn how to multiply fractions, whether it's a whole number by a fraction or a fraction by a fraction. And as you can see, there are 4 problems on your screen. We're going to do these 4 problems together, and then you'll try 4 on your own over at the Mastery Check. The link to the Mastery Check is down in the description, by the way. So for number 1, we have 6 times 1/3. So a whole number times a fraction. Now when we multiply fractions, all we need to do is multiply straight across. So numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So the first thing we need to do with the 6 is make it into a fraction. Whenever you have a whole number, you can make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. That way you have a numerator and a denominator. Bring down the multiplication sign and the 1/3. Now we multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So our answer is 6/3. But that's an improper fraction, meaning the numerator, the top number, is larger than the denominator, the bottom number. So you never leave an answer improper. So how to convert it out of improper fraction? We need to divide the numerator, the top number, by the denominator. So 6 divided by 3. That's going to give us a whole number here. So how many whole groups of 3 can we pull out of 6? Well, 2. Now once we do that, is there anything left over? Is there a remainder? No. So our answer is 2. So 6 times 1/3 is 2. Now I want you to take a look at this answer compared to our problem, because normally we think when we multiply two numbers, we should get larger in value. Our answer should grow in value, right? If you did 6 times 2, we get 12. But here we started with a 6 and we ended up with a 2. And that's because we multiplied by a fraction that's less than 1 whole. So whenever you multiply by something less than a whole, your answer is going to decrease in value from what you started with. So let's take a look at number 2. We have 12, so it's a whole number. Let's put it over 1, and we multiply by 3/5. So go straight across. 12 times 3, 36. 1 times 5 is 5. So 36/5. So what we need to do now, that's our answer, but it's improper. So we need to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 36 divided by 5. So how many whole groups of 5 can we pull out of 36? And the answer is 7 wholes. So that's our whole number here. But we didn't hit 36 exactly. We have a remainder or something left over. So 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract to find out what the remainder is, and it's 1. So that 1 is actually going to be the numerator of our fractional part of this mixed number. A mixed number has a whole number and a fraction. So our remainder is the numerator, and we keep the denominator the same. So we bring that 5 over. So 7 and 1/5. So again, we started with 12, and we multiplied by something less than a whole. So our answer actually decreased in value relative to what we started with in the problem. And that's okay, because we multiplied by something less than a whole. So number 3, we have 3/4 times 2/3. All right, straight across. 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 3 is 12. So our answer is 6/12. Now that fraction can be simplified. It's a proper fraction, but we have a greatest common factor between the 6 and the 12 that we can break down or simplify this fraction into its lowest terms. And that greatest common factor is 6. So let's divide both of these by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now that fraction cannot be broken down anymore. The only common factor between 1 and 2 is 1, so we are done. The answer to number 3 is 1/2. All right, number 4, we have 1/7 times 2/3. Straight across, 1 times 2 is 2, and 7 times 3, 21. So we get 2/21. Now the only common factor between 2 and 21 is 1. So we are simplified here. That's as far as that fraction can break down. So we are done. 2/21. All right, there you have it. So that's multiplying fractions. You just multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and then see if you can simplify your answer.
So today we want to learn how to multiply the fractions. We have here example number 1. The question said multiply, then write in simplest form if you can. Write in simplest form. Is that possible? The first step here we have 2/3 multiplied by 12. As you see here we have fraction and here we have whole number. How to multiply a fraction by whole number? The first step, change from the whole number to the fraction. Change from the whole number to the fractions. How? Put the denominator 1. Because as you know, 12/1 equal 12. So put the denominator 1. So now we have fraction. We have here fraction 12/1 multiplied by 2/3. The rule said when you want to multiply two fractions, just multiply numerator by numerator up and denominators by denominators down. So you can write here 2 multiplied by 12, 2 multiplied by 12, over 3 multiplied by 1, over 3 multiplied by 1. Now 2 multiplied by 12, 2 multiplied by 12 will be 24, And 3 multiplied by 1, 3 multiplied by 1 will be 3. And as you see here, we have 24/3. 24/3 means 24 divided by 3. 24 divided by 3, which number times 3 equal 24 will be 8. So 24 divided by 3 will be 8. So the simplest form here, or the last answer here, will be 8. See with me now this video.
هذا الحمد لله على السلامة.
حياكم الله، سلمكم الله وعافاكم. أهلا وسهلا.
حسي بالرقاوة مع كلاريتين يلي ما بيسبب النعاس للأطفال مع راحة 24 ساعة.
Multiplying fractions for the first time. If you can successfully add fractions and subtract them, we can move to our next operation, multiplication. Look at this problem. 1/2 times 3/4. I think it will help you to make sense of this if you know that in math we can read the multiplication sign as the word of. That means we can read this problem as 1/2 of 3/4 or 3/4. This diagram represents 3/4. To find half of everything here, I can cut each piece in half like this. I had 4 parts because it was in quarters, and now those are halved, so I've got 8 parts. We need to show half of 3/4, so I'm going to colour half of each of those yellow quarters we started with in blue. And we get 3 blue parts out of 8 parts in the whole now. The answer is 3/8. It's a great way to represent multiplying fractions, but it's not the best method for actually doing problems. You'll get fed up fast because it takes a long time to do each diagram. But you are going to like the way we do this with mathematical working. It's really fast. Very simply, we multiply the numerators together, top times top, and then we multiply the denominators together, bottom times bottom. And look at that, we get exactly the same answer as I did with the diagram that took me ages to make and colour. And If we can simplify our answer, we must. 3/8, of course, can't be reduced, so we're all done. Now, if you like that, you know which button to click. Let's do another one, and this time we'll try it without the diagram. 2/3 times 3/5. We know that we can multiply the numerators together now, so top times top. 2 times 3 is 6. Then multiply the denominators together, bottom times bottom. That's 15. 6 over 15. Is that it? Nope. We have to reduce if possible, and 6 and 15 are both in the 3 times table. They're divisible by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Our final answer is 2 over 5, 2/5. Remember, if we can reduce the fraction for our final answer, we must reduce it. Otherwise, you only get half marks because you only did half the job. And now it's over to you. I think you can whiz through a worksheet of these things really quick. After that, come back for part 2, in which I will show you a cool trick that you can sometimes use when multiplying fractions. It is a major time saver, and I know you're going to like it. See you next time.
Example 2. The question here, multiply the right in simplest form, if that possible, if you can. As you see here, we have 8 over 5. We have 8 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 4. We have two fractions here. How to solve this problem? How to multiply the two fractions here? The rule said when you want to multiply two fractions, just multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. How? We can write here 8 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 4, 8 multiplied by 1, 8 multiplied by 1, over 5 multiplied by 4, over 5 multiplied by 4. So 8 multiplied by 1, 8 multiplied by 1 will be 8, and 5 multiplied by 4, 5 multiplied by 4 will be 20. As you see here we have 8 over 20. This is not the last answer here. We can do simplest form. Find GCF between 8 and 20. Find GCF between 8 and 20. You will find 4. GCF equal 4. So I can write here 8 divided by 4 over 20 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 will be 2. And 20 divided by 4 will be 5. So this is the simplified. This is the last answer. This is the simplest form. So 2 over 5. So 8 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 4 will be what? Will be 2 over 5. 2 over 5. Example 3 here. Multiply, write in simplest form. As you see here, we have 7 over 8 multiplied by 16 over 21. We have two fractions and the operation here multiplication. How to do this problem? The first step, multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So I can write 7 over 8 multiplied by 16 over 21, 7 multiplied by 16, 7 multiplied by 16, over 8 multiplied by 21, over 8 multiplied by 21. Now 7 times 16 will be 112, and 8 multiplied by 21 will be 168. This is not the last answer, we can do simplest form here. How? Find GCF between 112 and 168 will be 56. So the GCF here will be 56. Now try 112 divided by 50 will be 2, and 168 divided by 56 will be 3. So the simplified now 2 over 3. The simplest for now 2 over 3. This is the last answer of multiplication. 7 over 8 multiplied by 16 over 21 will be 2 over 3. Example 4. Multiply, then write the simplest form. We have 49 over 11 multiplied by 1 over 7. The rule said numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So I can write here 49 over 11 multiplied by 1 over 7. So we can do 49 multiplied by 1, 49 multiplied by 1 over 11 multiplied by 7, over 11 multiplied by 7. Now 49 multiplied by 1 will be 49, as you see here, and 11 multiplied by 7 will be 77, Now here we have 49 and 77, 49 over 77. This form not the last answer. We can do simplest form here. How? Take 49 and 77 and find GCF for 49 and 77 will be, find the GCF here will be 7, So we can do now 49 divide by 7 and 77 divide by 7, 77 divide by 7. Now here 49 divide by 7 will be 7 and 77 divide by 7 will be 11. So the last answer here 7 over 11. This is the simplest form. So 49 over 11 multiplied by 1 over 7 will be 7 over 11, And here we have some videos. When you have free time, you can see these videos. And this is our lesson today.
أستاذ الحمد لله على السلامة.
Allah يسلمكم يا رب. Now who has a question? Who has a question now? What is our lesson today? What we learned today? What is the title of our lesson?
Multiply fraction.
It's very easy.
Multiplying fraction.
Fractions. And here we have two cases. We learned two cases. When we have fraction multiplied by whole number, the first step change from the whole number to the fractions, then multiply the two fractions here. The second case, when we have two fractions, directly multiply numerator by numerator, the number up with the number up, then multiply the numerator by the denominator. Then you can find the simplest form if you can find the GCF between numerator and denominator, you can divide the numerator and denominator by the GCF, then you can solve the simplest form if you have. So this is our lesson today. It's very easy lesson. We have two issues. I want to tell you two issues. We have in the dashboard in our program here, Microsoft Teams, we have survey from Mr. Qusay. I want from all to go through the survey and to solve it and to continue to the all this survey. From the all, it's very important. I want from the all.
Where start?
نفس البرنامج المايكروسوفت مستر قصي ناشر سيرفي. السيرفي بس نضغط عليها بتفتح بس بنجاوب نحن على الأسئلة. في أسئلة بس نحن بنجاوب عليها، فبدي كل الطلاب يدخلوا ويجاوبوا عليها بعد انتهاء القصة تماما. مجرد ما انتهت القصة بس انت تطلع على الصفحة الرئيسية للبرنامج رح تلاقي مستر قصي ناشر مثل رابط، تدخل عليها الرابط هذا بتفتح سيرفي، هي عبارة عن استبيان أو سيرفي، فمنحلها بس بدي من كل طالب بس يحلها من الجميع. المسألة الثانية برنامج ألف، لحد الآن في عندي طلاب لحد الآن ما حلت ولا اشتغلت. طبعا أنا فاتح الدروس، يعني فاتح كمية كبيرة من الدروس لأنه في عندي طلاب ما شاء الله عم تحل بكمية كبيرة، وفي عندي طلاب لحد الآن ما اشتغلت. فبدي من الجميع يشتغل في برنامج ألف بشكل يومي، يعني هلا بعد انتهاء الحصة ادخل لبرنامج ألف وحاول تحل أكبر قدر من الدروس، إلا الدروس اللي ما بتعرفها اتركها لأنه حتى نوصل لها نحن ما في مشكلة. بدي من كل الطلاب تشتغل، لأنه برنامج ألف عليه 20 علامة، راح نحط علامة المشروع على برنامج ألف، فكل طالب ما اشتغل يعني علامته 80. كل طالب ما اشتغل يعني راح تصير علامته من 80. فبدي الجميع يشتغل. الله يرضى عليكم بشكل يومي برنامج ألف. بنحل على قدر ما بنقدر. بنحل على قدر ما بنقدر. أول شيء بنشوف الفيديو التعليمي، بعدين نحن بنحل الأسئلة. بعدين بشكل يومي أنا راح أخصص 5 دقائق، هيك بده المستر عطيل. راح نخصص 5 دقائق لبرنامج ألف. كل يوم نستعرض درس من دروس برنامج ألف بنشتغل عليه لمدة 5 دقائق بشكل يومي. هذا ضمن الحصة اللي أنا راح أعطيها، بس أنا بدي من الجميع يشتغل، لأنه كل طالب مثل ما قلت لكم كل طالب عم يشتغل راح أعطيه 20 علامة، واللي ما عم يشتغل يعني علامته من 80 وليست من 100. واضح الكلام؟ في طلاب لحد الآن ما اشتغلت. اللي ما عنده الأكاونت بإمكانه يتواصل مع الأستاذ أحمد.
أستاذ
تفضل.
العلامة تنقصونها من الشهادة ولا من
بالشهاده طبعا. هي بنقول لك انه الالف عليه 20 علامه. هي بدل ما كلفك انا بمشروع عم نقول لك اشتغل لي بالف. يعني بدل ما اقول لك انا سابي مشروع او عملت بحث عم اقول لك اشتغل بالف عليه 20 علامه. تمام؟
يعني
هي من علامه المشروع. نعم.
يعني كل يوم لازم نفتح على ألف علينا ماث 5 دقايق.
حاولي تحلي كل يوم شوي من الف. انت الله يرضى عليك مالك مقصره ماريا، من الطلاب المتميزين وعم تحلي وبتشتغلي من زمان بالف. بس في عندي طلاب لحد الان ما فتحت الاكونت تبعها، ما بتعرف شو هذا الف. فاللي ما لحد ما فتح يفتح ويشتغل، لانه عليه 20 علامه يا جماعه. يعني لا تروح علامات. بدل بتصير علامتك بدل ما تكون 100 بتصير علامتك 80. فبدي من الجميع يشتغل. الله يرضى عليكم. نعم.
بس أنا ما بكون مكتوب عندي مثلا محمد هاني.
دور. لازم يطلع عندك محمد هاني. اذا ما طلع تواصلي مع الاستاذ احمد. الاستاذ احمد هو مدير الحساب، مسؤول الكمبيوتر. ليه؟ لانه انا عم يطلع عندي مدرس اخر، خليه يصلح لك الخلل. تمام؟ يعني انا بقدر اتابع بس الطالب اللي عم يشتغل عندي اذا داخل على حسابي انا. اما اذا عم يشتغل بحساب مدرس اخر ما بيطلع لي انه اشتغل. عرفتوا كيف؟ فالكل وقت بده يدخل يتاكد انه عم يدخل في مكتوب دكتور محمد هاني ولا لا. اذا مو مكتوب يتواصل مع الاستاذ احمد مشان يصلح له الخلل. تمام؟ في حدا له اي استفسار اي سؤال؟
أستاذ
اذا انت عليكم في عندنا مسألتين هلا بس نخلص الدرس. اول شغله بنروح على السيرفي بنعبيها، موجوده هي على البورد للبرنامج المايكروسوفت. بتلاحظوا جنبها في صوره مستر.
مكتوب عليه اف صح؟ مكتوب عليه اف.
ايوه مكتوب عليها اف. ممتاز. موجوده عليها جنبها صوره مستر قصير، ندخل عليها بنحاول نعبيها. الموضوع الثاني بشكل يومي بنشتغل ببرنامج الف. الله يرضى عليكم على قد ما بنقدر. بنخصص 10 دقائق، ربع ساعه، نص ساعه، على قد ما بتقدر. معلش. تمام؟ طيب خلينا نروح ناخذ الاتندنس ناو.
أستاذ متى المدرسة شغالة؟ يعني متى المدرسة
11/6 آخر يوم امتحانات. 11/6 آخر يوم امتحانات.
لا يعني على السلام.
الله يسلمكم يا رب.
لا أستاذ يعني أنا بشير أشوف شهادتي مال الترم الثاني. أنا ما أعرف متى المدرسة تكون شغالة.
بدك تاخذ المدرسة تفتح من الساعة 9 للساعة 1 بشكل يوم. بين الساعة 9 والساعة 1 بإمكانك تمر على المدرسة من يوم الأحد ليوم الخميس. تستلم الشهادة. نعم.
بس أنا معدلي بالماس 99.
نعم.
أنا معدلي بالماس 99.
99. مين أنت؟ ريناد؟ شو الاسم؟
مستر أنا جبت بالماس 100. أنا ماريا.
ماريا أخذ 100. صحيح كلامك. ماريا أخذ بالماث 100. العلامات إجمالا كانت ممتازة. نعم.
أنا ماخذ 99.
طيب خلينا ناخذ الاتندنس ناو. اللي له سؤال اخر الحصه بيسالني. اسيل.
هير.
اليازيا سعيد. اليازيا. جود.
Yes, Mr.
جود عصام. يس. ريناد. ريناد.
Mister, I am here.
اوكي. روضة ناصر. روضة ناصر. Yes. شمسة فيصل.
I'm here, Mister.
How are you, شمسة?
Fine.
Okay, you are here. طيب, thank you. شيخة حمد.
Yes.
How are you, شيخة?
Fine.
Great. شيخة بدر.
Yes, Mister.
How are you, شيخة?
I am fine.
Great. عليا.
Yes, Mister.
How are you, عليا?
Fine.
Great. لطيفة. لطيفة.
نعم مستر.
Great, لطيفة. Thank you. لين.
Yes, Mister. Yes.
Thank you, لين. ماريا.
Yes, Mister.
Thank you. مروة.
Yes, Mister.
مروة.
Yes.
Thank you, مروة. مريم.
Yes,
مريم.
Mister.
Thank you, مريم. مهرة فيصل. Thank you. مو سعيد.
Yes, Mister.
Thank you. نغم.
Here, Mister.
Thank you, نغم.
Leave.
You can leave this. نورة. نورة. هاجر. هاجر.
نعم مستر.
مهرة.
Here, Mister. Here.
Yes. Now for boys. Girls, you can leave now. بطي.
نعم مستر.
Great, بطي. حارب. حارب. حارب المكبالي. absent. حمد علي.
نعم أستاذ.
Great. منصور علي.
أستاذ.
Great. حمدان الكعبي. حمدان الكعبي.
نعم أستاذ.
Great, حمدان. Great. خالد خليل.
نعم مستر.
Great. دانيال.
Yes, Mister.
Great. زايد.
Yes, Mister.
سعيد محمد. سعيد المهيري.
أستاذ. نعم أستاذ. نعم.
تمام. سلطان علي.
نعم أستاذ.
ممتاز. سلطان غازي. سلطان غازي. سلطان غازي. absent. عامر الكعبي. عامر الكعبي.
نعم أستاذ.
اوكي. عبد الله الحمادي.
أستاذ أطلع.
يس. عبد الله راشد.
Yes, Mister.
عبد الله محمد الجابري. عبد الله الجابري. عبد الله الجابري.
نعم مستر.
عبد الله مسعود. عبد الله مسعود. عبد الله الأحبابي. عبد الله مسعود. absent. عمر أشرف.
نعم أستاذ.
طيب. عمر الشامسي. عمر الشامسي. عمر الشامسي. عمر عبد الله خلفان الشامسي absent. فلاح الشرياني.
نعم.
Great. مايد.
نعم.
Great. محمد أحمد الحمادي.
نعم.
Great. محمد سعيد.
نعم.
Great.
مستر أنا سعيد أطلع.
إيه. محمد سهيل.
مع السلامة مستر.
مع السلامة. محمد سهيل. Great. مطاوع.
نعم.
ممتاز. معاذ.
Yes.
Great معاذ. So I want to remember you, we have two issues. The first step after this period, please, all students go to the survey in the dashboard of this program, Microsoft Teams. This is from Mr. Kusai. I want from all to go through this survey and to solve it and continue all this survey, please. The second issue, very important, every day to work in Alif. And the mark of Alif, 20 marks from the project of this term. So I want to from the all every day to work in Alif, please. It's very important. And the mark of this program, 20 marks from 100, the full marks. So this is our lesson today. Thank you for your listening. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.